Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is your boy Noah Jones, and welcome to Today in Hip Hop Season 2, Episode 10. Ladies and gentlemen, today we got an interesting show. We have Chance the Rapper making some noise. We got Tory Lanez, and we also have Vivica Fox speaking on the Neyo situation with him currently breaking up with his wife over the cheating allegations, etc., etc. So, let's kick the show off with your boy Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper recently, ladies and gentlemen, did an interview on The Breakfast Club. Chance the Rapper is a very interesting individual. His whole situation is extremely interesting, and it defies the conventional laws of how the music industry and the hip-hop game have been presented and have been executed. I'll do a little more deep dive into that in a minute. Now, Chance the Rapper's his Breakfast Club interview. During the recent interview with The Breakfast Club, the Chicago native addressed the chatter from hip-hop fans saying that he's fallen off, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel? Do you think Chance the Rapper's fallen off? Charlemagne asks Chance, how hard is it not to feed into criticism you may see of yourself online? Because there is a lot of chatter online, and they like to say that Chance the Rapper fell off. That's their language. Man, I don't know, Chance said. To me, it's like I could do one or two things. I could either agree with it, or I could live my life. If I agree with it, then that means the Breakfast Club fell off. Because y'all don't have people that fell off sitting in your chair. I don't think. Usually. And so I feel like I got to stay on my path. He continued, niggas was saying I fell off when I was in high school. I made 4 mixtapes. Niggas was telling me in high school your last tape was better. I'm like, nigga, I'm 15. I can joke about it, but it's tough. It's like, I don't know what I can say. Tell people that my feelings are hurt? Well, here's the thing. Chance the Rapper had a crazy run. He dropped an album, his last album, I believe. I think it was called The Big Day, which was quite a few years ago. And the entire album, for the most part, was focused on the love, devotion, and his marriage to his current wife. That was a drastic change for his fans to adapt to. So a lot of people trashed it. You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing. People like music that's relatable to them. In the hip-hop culture, a lot of us are not going through healthy marriages or not married at all. So a lot of times we don't want to hear about that shit. Now, we could probably take a song or two, or maybe even a song about your wife kind of like disguised that it's about your wife. But when it's upfront and honest, it's a big shift. It's a big shift. The fans of his music weren't expecting that. This is Mr. Put your booty on my Gucci belt. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he's making an entire album, full-length album about his devotion and dedication to his wife. Needless to say, the album flopped. And what happens is, in these situations, a lot of times artists, they get scared and they don't release any more music or another project because they're afraid of the reception. Now, here's the thing. This is what you should have done, Chance. I'm gonna give you a heads up. What you should have done was, if your album bombed, you should have quickly went back to the lab and worked on another project and put that shit out to kind of erase the thoughts of this last album. See, it's been a few years now and you've just been riding, coasting, chilling, sitting back. That's why people are saying you fell off. Once you are in the public's eye, in the public's perception, and you're dropping things on a constant, consistent, regular basis, the moment you stop for a long period of time, that's when they're going to quote say, you fell off. Now, it's not necessarily that your musical content has changed or that people think you're less lyrical or less musical or that the current music even sucks for that matter. Falling off is when you have a run, then all of a sudden people don't hear from you for a long time, and you're not doing enough interviews to explain to people what the fuck is going on. Now, as an artist, a lot of times, because we care about our art, we get scared and we don't release music for fear of what somebody's going to say. Kind of like Andre 3000. He's had such great reviews over all of his stuff, he's afraid to drop a dud. So he's leaving people hanging on, waiting for more music, instead of just releasing shit and saying, yo, I'm just getting my thoughts out there. You know what I'm saying? Chance the Rapper's situation was special. I have never in my life seen an artist that had so many big name features and so many fucking looks as far as Apple Music and all this other shit, and didn't have a quote unquote record deal at the time. The industry is set up a certain way. Usually people don't want to help you unless they're going to get a piece of the pie. So to see somebody like Chance the Rapper come out and have features with Lil Wayne and a whole bunch of other people when he first started dropping, it had a lot of people in disbelief. He's running around preaching, I'm independent, I'm an unsigned artist type of thing. And this defies the laws of what the music industry is, because there are forms, there's releases, there's pay splits, there's relationships. There's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes, especially when you're dropping songs with artists on labels. Now, it's not like he's dealing with a bunch of independent artists that have more control over their shit, or are releasing when they want to, or just don't have a label altogether and they do what they want. He had songs with famous fucking artists at a time when most people didn't know him, just based off of his mixtape status. Like I said, the music industry usually doesn't move that way. So a lot of times we believe that maybe he was really signed and was championing a whole wave of independent artists when he himself wasn't actually an independent artist. See, a lot of times the story is what makes the artist famous. It wasn't 50 Cent's music at first that had him going crazy. It was the fact that he got shot 9 times and survived, and then started putting out music explaining what was going on in the streets around him. So his story drew everybody to him. Like, holy shit, this motherfucker was shot 9 times. I got to hear what he got to say. The story. So the story of him being an unsigned artist but having big deals with Apple Music and famous artists on your shit drew a lot of people to Chance the Rapper. You know what I mean? A lot of people. Me personally, I don't believe he was unsigned, because I've dealt with people where they don't help you unless they got you on some kind of paperwork. Because the last thing they want is for you to use their name, blow the fuck up, and they don't get a piece of the pie. You've seen that shit happen with Meek Mill and Roddy Ricch. Meek feels like he discovered Roddy Ricch. So when Roddy Ricch started blowing up, Meek was like, yo, they cut us out of the bag. I'm the one that got him started. You see what I'm saying? It's a known thing to where if you in the industry, you don't help motherfuckers unless you got them on some sort of paperwork. You know what I mean? So his situation to this day has been an anomaly when it comes to independent artists, radio shows, interview, press, all of that shit. And I have yet to see an independent team that made the kind of noise that Chance the Rapper had made. So all of that, including his story, is why people are saying, yo, you fell off. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing he could do, to rectify this shit is, nigga, just keep dropping music. Drop some music. There's plenty of people out there that haven't heard your dud of an album. There's a lot of people that haven't. So there's new fans out there that you can make every day. Your music is new to somebody. There's somebody out there that haven't heard of you before, or have heard of your name but hasn't heard any of your real music. So keep dropping shit. And what happens is when you drop a fire joint or a couple of fire projects, people go back in the vault and they start looking at all your other shit. They start listening to all your older catalog. I did that shit with Royce da 5'9". Royce da 5'9" is a phenomenal lyricist. I wasn't familiar with any of his actual bodies of work. Just the fact that everything I heard him on, he was going crazy. So I went back and I started listening to the bar exam and all this other stuff that he did prior. You know what I'm saying? So release music, Chance. Put some shit out there and be consistent with it. And don't worry about that shit. Because what happens is the money eventually dries up. And then you're going to feel that pressure to where you want to come back and everything is going to seem forced. When you can record and do things at your own agenda when you up, that's a good look. But when you backsliding and you stressing and you worrying about bills and everything else, that's when the music's going to sound forced and you're not going to be at your best. A concept album is cool, but like I said, people can't relate. Your fans can't relate to an entire album dedicated to your wife, my dude. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, don't feel discouraged. Put some new shit out and move on from there. Now, let's jump into some info about your boy Tory Lanez. Now, Tory Lanez recently has gifted a chain, like a diamond chain, to Chris Brown. And it has an image of Chris Brown with some suspenders, a white shirt, black slacks, a fedora hat, and basically the engravement at the bottom says, the King of Pop. So now it says right here, it says, Chris Brown is often debated as the current King of Pop following the death of Michael Jackson, who some will forever consider the king. However, Tory Lanez passed the torch to Chris by gifting him a custom King of Pop chain. First and foremost, even though Tory Lanez is extremely talented, he can't pass the torch to Chris. The fans have to pass the torch to Chris. One person isn't going to be able to do that. Now, Tory said, hey, he captioned the post. This is Instagram. He captioned it. Chris Brown is the King of Pop when it comes to my era and my generation. I don't give a fuck. My dog held me down at a time when most of the world left me for dead. I feel like this is a well-deserved gift for so many reasons. Most of those reasons I engraved on the back of the chain. Enjoy it, my boy. Tory Lanez, be careful, brother. There have been many instances, and even you have experienced this yourself, where these industry niggas is not your friends. When the whole situation started with Megan Thee Stallion, niggas was blackballing you from the industry. And it seems like you haven't learned your lesson. Unless you're saying that Chris Brown was one of the people that didn't leave your side during this whole situation. Now, I'm not sure y'all relationship, but I am going to tell you, be extremely careful of these industry niggas. When you hot, they all over your situation. They want to be down. They want to work. They want to do shit. When you fall out of your situation, they are nowhere to be found, and they want to end up charging you when you most likely have done shit for them for free. I've been there. Watch these niggas. Now, as far as the King of Pop shit, my take on that is this. The fans have to determine who's the real King of Pop. The fans have to decide that. Now, my whole thing is this. You won't be the king until you have a record that stands out through the test of time. The greats in his field, like for example, Chris Brown doesn't have a Purple Rain. Chris Brown doesn't have a When Doves Cry. Chris Brown doesn't have a Little Red Corvette. Chris Brown doesn't have a Raspberry Beret. You know what I mean? Also, to be one of the greatest, it's not only the music that you do for yourself, it's how you put other people on and bring other people into the industry and share the energy and share the spotlight. To me, Prince was the greatest of all time because not only was he able to play every instrument, the impact that he had on other artists behind the scenes and discussions and conversations he had behind the scenes. Let me tell you how crazy it is. I remember many years ago, and I've never shared this story, publicly anyway, I was living in California at the time, and they basically were saying that this is going to be Prince's last show. And since he was my favorite artist of all time, I had to go see this show. Now, the shit sold out so fast that they opened up more dates, which kind of pissed me off because I thought I was going to the last Prince show. That's a huge flex. I went to the last show. Nobody else could see him after me. That's a huge flex, right? What I found out about Prince before I even entered the arena, I think it was I don't know if it was at Staples Center. It was one of the big arenas, the LA Forum or some shit. Can't remember exactly what it was. When I was entering, they gave me Prince's newest CD, which had a barcode on the back. They had machines at the door to scan every single CD before you walk through those front gates with your ticket. Now, the CD was included in the ticket prices, I'm assuming. Now, this is many years ago. This is before bundles and all that other shit. Now, some of these stadiums hold 400,000 people, right? Here's how crazy it is. By him scanning the back of that fucking barcode, it counted as a sale of his newest album. So the fact that he packed that arena of 400,000 people meant that he was at the top of the Billboard charts because it counted as 400 sales. Now, this is type of shit, technology and shit that was implemented way before bundles and everything else. So this guy was not only a pioneer, he was already thinking of ways to be independent, to be ahead of everybody else. This is when he was on his independent run, when he was having his disputes with Warner Brothers, I think the record label was, and he had Slave on his face and all that shit. He actually was doing these shows and scanning these CDs, so he was basically selling millions of records on his own. Now, like I said, they were tied into the ticket price, so the price was probably expensive as shit. I think I paid quite a bit of money, and I wasn't even close to the stage. But that just shows the genius of this man. The genius of thinking, hey, I could be at the top of the charts just from fucking performing. This is before streaming. Just for performing and giving people new product to go home and listen to. So I was ecstatic. Not only did I get to see a dope show, I had brand new music that I had never heard before that I got a chance to ride home and listen to. Fucking genius. You know what I'm saying? So until Chris Brown is doing shit like that, to me, he'll never be the king. Will he be a great artist? Absolutely. Does he make great music? Absolutely. Does he have those records, though, that move people? Records like Michael Jackson has. Records that Prince has. See, it's more to being the king than just dancing. Chris Brown is a phenomenal dancer. He's a phenomenal artist, like an actual artist. Dude is sick with it. But at the end of the day, the people have to give this guy his accolades, not a fellow musician. Now, Tory Lanez, like I said, he's very underrated. Tory Lanez is fucking gifted. You know what I'm saying? He's fucking extremely gifted. He can sing. He can rap. Like I said, I respect Tory Lanez a lot. With his short ass. Little nigga. Y'all ever see the video where he was on Sway and he was freestyling on Sway, and then when he stood up off the chair, he was the same height as when he was sitting down? This little nigga Tory. I fuck with him though. Like I said, he's talent. If you're talking about talented, I think he's probably one of the most talented brothers from Canada. So until he crosses that threshold, Chris Brown, I can't give you the king status. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you the king status. Now, let's wrap this up with Vivica Fox. She had some choice words and some advice for Neyo's wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, Crystal Smith, among the Neyo cheating allegations. So let's hear it from Vivica herself.
You deserve better, sweetheart. You tried. I know sometimes a lot of women, well, I don't want to break up my family, this, that, and the third. It's not working. Move on. Go get counseling for yourself, young lady, so that you will know that you deserve a man to treat you like a queen. That's what you deserve. Stop staying for the fame or for the Instagram posts. You deserve for a man to love you for you, so that when you lay down in the bed next to him, you don't feel that he's going to bring you a disease.
All right, Miss Vivica Fox. Like to touch on that for a second. First and foremost, Vivica has a reputation of being a little off her rocker. I think when she was dating 50 Cent, there was a lot of crazy things going back and forth as far as that. To this day, she is still massively in love / attracted to 50, and 50's like, I'm not fucking with you because you're crazy. Here's the thing, Vivica. Here's what I want to touch on. First and foremost, we have no idea what the dynamics of their relationship or their marriage was. And for you to say what she deserves without seeing what she actually put into the situation and put into the relationship is a little far-fetched. See, people think nowadays, especially women, they think that because they are a woman, they deserve a certain thing or they're entitled to a certain thing. Let me explain something to you. Whoever is putting in the work deserves the entitlement because they doing the fucking work. We have no idea what their situation entails. What did she put in? What did she do for their relationship? How has she contributed? And we're not talking about financially, because when a man takes on the role and does everything financially, we don't care about women's money because we are using our own. We don't give a fuck how much money you got because we're the ones that are spending. We're the ones that are providing. So how do you know what she deserves? How do you know what anybody deserves? Their actions let you know what they deserve. If you do this, you deserve that. If you do something negatively, you get what's coming to you. You know what I mean? Cause and effect, causality, karma, actual real life shit. See, the problem is a lot of these women have been raised to think that they princesses and that they deserve a certain thing. Your actions dictate what you deserve. You know, maybe their dynamic was different. Maybe she wasn't doing the type of shit that he wanted her to do. Maybe she was talking shit. Maybe she had a fucked up attitude. Maybe he decided to stay just out of convenience because maybe he didn't want to break up the family. So he decided to go outside the relationship rather than ruin the fucking family because she didn't have her shit together. You know what I mean? Contrary to belief, there are men out there that want their women to be aspiring somethings instead of just sitting at home doing a bunch of fucking nothing. And if you're gonna be sitting at home doing a bunch of nothing, be fucking productive. Add some value to your man's life. Create some opportunities. Create opportunities for your nigga. Plug him with somebody. Or if you hear some shit, say you hear an artist and you like the music, yo, introduce him to your man. Hey, I'm Neyo's wife, fucking, I could get y'all on a record together because I like your shit. How has she contributed to their relationship? All those things have to be established before you decide what a person is entitled to. You deserve. Just because you're a woman, you don't deserve shit. That's not how it goes. Just because you get a job doesn't mean you deserve to be promoted. Just because you get a job doesn't mean that you deserve to get full-time status with benefits and everything else. Certain things you got to work for, especially if those things were put in place before your ass got there. If this man was already on the road to success before they got together, how you going to say what she deserves? And we don't even know how much work Neyo's doing behind the scenes. He could be writing for a lot of people. There was at one point in time where Beyonce was saying that To the Left song, she wrote herself. Come to find out, Neyo wrote that shit. So there's a lot of things behind the scene that this brother could be doing to create a better situation in a life for his family. But by the same token, We don't know if she's assisting in that situation or if she has a vampiric personality to where she's draining his fucking energy. You know, the number one thing you women don't understand is this. Niggas want peace and quiet. When we come home, we want peace. We don't want the fucking nagging. We don't want the da-da-da-da-da-da. We don't want the accusations. We don't want any of that shit. Because that leads us to doing the shit that he's caught up in right now. Maybe there was years of her accusing this nigga and he was innocent. So he was like, fuck it, I'm going to go out and do it since I'm being accused of it anyway. See, the main thing is there's a situation where he's not happy. He's not fulfilled. And he's not fulfilled by his woman. Does that mean that there's not a balance? There must be some sort of balance because things are still getting taken care of. You know, women want a man that other fucking women desire. They don't want somebody that nobody wants. Because then they start questioning themselves like, what's wrong with me? Why am I the only one that likes this dude? Why am I the only one that wants him? You got to understand, because we don't know, you can't say who's entitled to what. All you can say is there's a problem with their relationship. Hopefully they work this shit out. Godspeed, you know, and to the best of them. Now, as far as Neyo, hey, you can't say let's handle this shit behind closed doors, because the minute she put that shit online, it became everybody's fucking public opinion. Now you're in the court of public opinion because she put that shit out there. You can't put that genie back in the bottle, brother. All of that handling behind the scenes shit, that shit needed to be done before she leaked that information. Now, luckily, she didn't go into detail about who you was fucking with. You know, because there's a lot of people, like I said, that actually thought that you was gay. So because of that, you know, who knows whether these are male relationships, female relationships? You know, we don't know. She may have said it was women, but there may have been men involved too. And maybe she don't want to fuck the bag up because she's going to end up divorcing this dude and taking some of his bread and paying child support or whatever. But she doesn't want to damage the brand so much to where the money stops coming in. So she's going to play it safer than normal. You know what I mean? But the thing is this. You can't sit up here, Vivica, and say what somebody else deserves from an entitled standpoint. And first, you have to fix what's going on in your situation, your life. You haven't had a history of successful relationships. You know what I mean? You don't have the greatest of public opinion about you and your personal situations that you had out there with famous artists and all that other shit. You know, so, Neyo, I wish you luck, brother. Crystal, I wish you luck, sister. Hopefully y'all figure this shit out. But that's my time. It's your boy Noah Jones. Thank you for checking out Today in Hip Hop Season 2, Episode 10. Make sure you stop by privateroadclothing.com. Also, make sure you stop by NoahJonesNews.com. And if you're interested in the music, all of that stuff is on the website. Costs $2 to subscribe, very inexpensive. You can join the mailing list for free. The mailing list will give you a free album, and it's free, like I said. Keep you up to date with all the stuff that's going on. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all time. I respect y'all. And thank you so much. Peace.